Hey everybody, I got myself a new machine and I am setting up my slicers for both filament and resin printing, and I thought it might make sense for me to cover what needs to be migrated over and what the setup is and how much you can preserve between the two machines and what needs to be copied and what needs to be set up from scratch and how to do all that. So here we are. Of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is install the new apps, which involves going to the browser, downloading them from the websites. Here's Cura. I already have it open. And for Cura specifically, even though I'm logged in, it did not remember any of my settings from my old machine. So I had to set my printer up from scratch, which is the Anycubic Viper, which isn't too difficult. And then I've been using generic PLA anyway. They don't have a selection for the filament that I use. I've been using Geetek filament from Amazon. That's pretty low cost and I've had decent luck with it, so I've just been going with it. Anyway, the thing I was most concerned about are my profiles, because I had a lot of profiles. I had them sort of tweaked and tuned and experimented with and different versions and things. And what I was really worried about losing was those. And as you can see, they're not here. So how to back those up and get them on your new machine? Go to your other computer. And here's my other version of Cura. And you can see, all these different profiles I already had. I had the default Viper ones. I had some tweaks I had made to the Viper profile. Plus I had the MPOX and some tweaks to the MPOX. And I wanted to preserve all these. Fortunately, if you want to preserve these, you can hit this little drop down arrow, go to Manage Profiles or Control J, boom, and then you can pick. You have to go one by one. I tried to multi-select. It doesn't let you do it. Right now I'm clicking Shift up arrow or Shift click, and it only lets you pick one at a time. So pick one, hit Export. I already exported all of these. It'll ask you what you want to name it. You can see I already plopped them all down here. And it will export them as a .cura profile file with your settings. Now let's see just how easy, and you have to go one at a time, click, export, give it a name, and so on and so forth until you get all of your custom profiles exported. I did not see a way to export the printer settings, as you can see here, but for the Viper it's pretty straightforward, so recreating it from scratch was fine. Okay. So once you get all of those exported, and I have them saved on a USB drive, close that down. You can see I have Lychee up. We'll do that next. Okay, now it's safe to remove. Okay, fine. Next. You can't see, but I'm moving my flash drive over. Okay, excellent. I've got my profiles all copied, and just to be safe, rather than load them from the flash drive, I actually copied all my backed up profiles right here to the desktop so that I have them. Since we have these profiles all saved here, we can just pop over to our profile settings, click on this normal, and you have the same option here, Manage Profiles. You'll want to do the opposite, Import. We will import them from our desktop, Profiles, and I might as well start with default MPOX. Thank you, MPOX. Success. It looks like it's going to pick up the name that you named the file, which is fine. It's not quite as nice as the name I had given them. Now you can rename them if you want. I had them named nicely, but I guess you can do that. You can either go through the trouble of naming your files nicely, or you can just rename them after. But you can go through here, just import them all, and here's the one I had tweaked. And again, you have to do them one at a time, at least as far as I know. If somebody knows a way to do this in mass, that would be fantastic. If you happen to have these default Viper ones, for example, saved, you can import those right from your original default configurations. But here we are. And so now if you go back to your list, you have them all here. I'm gonna tune up these names just to make them a little cleaner and rename them, but now at least I have my Viper PLA modified in August, and you can see here, bring your menu to expert if that's what you were using, and things will look a lot more familiar to you. So that is how you get your settings, your print settings, from old Cura to a new computer, Cura. If you have a bunch of printers, unfortunately, it seems like you do not have the option. Let me just add one for kicks. I'm going to add a non-networked, sure, S5. I'm just going to add one and see what happens. Do I have? No, there's no option to export these. If you have a whole bunch of printers for whatever reason, you're going to have to set those all up from scratch, unless there's a way to dig into the file system and copy them outside of Cura so that Cura sees them. I tried to look around and see if I could find where those are kept, but it wasn't worth the trouble for one printer, so I didn't bother. Anyway, what I was really concerned about was all the tweaks I had made to some of these different custom profiles, and that's how you get them on here. So that is the Cura story. I also have Lychee installed, and Lychee should be different. Sure, Windows 11's asking me all kinds of questions. Yes, that's fine. I'm gonna just accept all this and accept whatever this says too. It's not like you have a lot of choice. It's either that or don't use it. I actually already have an account. This one. All right, cool. I'm going to log in and we'll see what happens when I log in here. Clearly, Lychee is being set up from scratch. Let's see what happens once I log in. I believe one of the features of Lychee, especially if you purchase it like I did, should back up your information to Lychee's cloud server and pull it back down for you. So let me grab this, log in here, and we'll take a look and see what happens. Here we go. We're going to log in. It's going to update my license. Now, something to keep in mind, you can only have Lychee Pro installed on 2 machines at the same time. And there's a place to go to deactivate the old machine, which I'm going to do as soon as this one is working correctly. And it's what I was hoping it would say. We have imported your printers and resins. And it has my little bird here, but let's take a look and see. So it's got my Anycubic Photon Mono X, and let's take a look and see. Look at this. It has all my resin settings. So this is great. If you're using Lychee, it's going to preserve your settings if you have an account. I believe that may still be the case even if you have a free version. I happen to license it, so that is very smooth. However, there is one thing you need to do. If you click on your avatar face icon up here and go to your computer list, and when you look at your computer list, you're going to see both machines. Maximum of 2 computers. You can revoke the license from one of your 2 machines if you need to, which I intend to. So now that I know that Lychee's working well here, I am going to revoke that. It's going to pull it, and boom. Not that I need to run this on another machine, and if you need to run it on 2, that's great. However, I'm not going to need it now that I've been able to successfully log in here. So, and that was easy. It saved all my printer settings, it saved all my custom resin settings, and Lychee did a pretty nice job at migrating all of that information for me. So I would say, Lychee, piece of cake. Cura, a lot more manual. I hope this helps someone. Now you can slice like you normally would on your new machine with your existing settings or the settings that you've been comfortable using. You don't have to set everything back up from scratch. So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time on the next video. Thanks, everybody.